Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to July 9th pre-market session, and let's get started with news, the events, and the tickers on watch. Good morning. Good morning, Sarah, Rasul, Eliel. Good morning, everyone. All right. So we had a couple of economic data for the day. The first one is the initial jobless claim, which came at 215K versus expected 220. So yeah, more people are staying unemployed once they lose job, but it's slightly cooling in labor market. And the geopolitical tensions started again. Some military exchange happened in Saint of Hormuz, and oil spiked and bounced above this 66 zone, and it is around this 74, 73 area right now. It is consolidating so far, but technically it just moved higher as a result of the last few days military basically military exchanges in Saint of Hormuz. Well, if the oil goes higher again, inflation concerns will rise again. So yeah, let me record here.
Recording in progress.
Okay, and so that was about oil. Chips are also extending yesterday's rally. We'll go over them. NVIDIA, semiconductors, AMD, and Meta. Reports say that AI chip production begins in September, and the goal is to double AI computing capacity for Meta, which is a catalyst, and we'll see how it reacts to this catalyst. AZN, AstraZeneca, it's a pharmaceutical company. Drug trial missed primary endpoint and stocks down roughly 8%. LEVI beat earning and revenue. PepsiCo beat earning, revenue is in line and stable overall. What happened to Pepsi's price action? Oh, gap down. Guidance unchanged despite the uncertainty in the economy. So that was the reason. But yeah, it gapped down heavily. Okay. And yeah, that would be, I guess, it for the events, for the news, and for the catalyst for the day. Let's talk about the overall market now. So yesterday we had a pretty choppy sideways market. Nothing interesting happened, honestly. What happened was just price hanging around like this 740, 743.4 range for a really long time, and finally hit this 740 zone, bounced above this level. There was a reversal scenario probably there, but it happened right around like 12 p.m. and then the price bounced and moved all the way higher. Now what we are seeing here is a clear hold of this 740, 739 demand zone, which is the zone that I mentioned multiple times before, right? And then we broke 744 clearly, retested this zone and bounced above this area. So we're seeing that 744 is also holding really well. So that is the zone that we will be watching for the day probably. So 744, if it holds, we're looking good for possible maybe bounce here, depends on the price action. Or if it breaks, we can go down till 740, 739 again. What is happening above this zone that we are trading on SPY? we have the resistance of 749 all the way up till 751. What happened in the pre-market? We just slightly rejected this zone and pushed lower, and now we're rejecting this area 748 again. So still the market is in a tough range. Okay, it's not an easy zone for the SPY right now. We are kind of stuck in the same structure that we were in the last basically week or so, right? 1 2 3 4 5 6 last 6 trading days. So this week and starting from last week, right? So we need to get out of this area for a clean price action. We are clearly just consolidating, right? The price is bouncing above the demand zone, rejecting resistance of 750, bouncing above here, rejecting, bouncing above here. Now we're going for a rejection. So we'll see if it can finally break this zone or not. If we retest these areas of 749, 750 and see a rejection, we could get a reversal setup again here on SPY, pushing the price lower and retesting 744. If we push that back down, hit 744, hold here, we might see a bounce and we could go for a reversal for a retest of the 749, 750. But if we break this zone, we can go down till 740. Qs. Let's take a look at Qs here. So Qs broke the 50 SMA, right, in the Tuesday's price action. And yesterday we hit 700 demand zone, which is a very, very strong zone that was a resistance here, held as a demand, held as a demand, held as a demand, held as demand, held as demand, and finally we held here as a demand zone again, right? So we technically tested this zone in the pre-market, pushed higher, rejected 711, 712 at the market open, which was the pre-market level as well, pushed lower, hit 700, bounced above this zone and went all the way higher and closed right below this 710, 712, 13 resistance, which was the resistance zone that we rejected, that we held here, that we rejected here, that we rejected here, that we rejected yesterday around the close and even in the after hour. But now we're holding right above it. So this zone is acting as our demand zone right now. And the price clearly broke out of this area, retested, bounced above it, and it's pushing higher. So Qs is holding a little bit better, but so far we are still again in the middle of this range right now, right? And the key zones would be right this 719. If that breaks, we can go all the way up till this 722, but then that would be the next major resistance that we just recently rejected on Monday. And to the downside, in case the price push back down, I want to see if this 712, 713 hold. If it holds, there could be a chance of a reversal and bouncing above this zone and pushing higher all the way up till this 722. But if we lose this level again, we're going to go down and retest 705 and 700-ish area again. So it really depends on the price action for the day. We had a good reversal and bounce above this 700 zone. Let's see if we can let's see if the overall market has the potential to push higher, especially with this current geopolitical tensions rising and oil price rising. But yeah, we'll need to wait for the price action to the market to open and go from there. Okay. All right. Welcome, guys. So yeah, that would be about Qs. So my concern at this point on Qs price action is basically, first of all, It's very clear on the daily chart as well. This zone that we are right now, this 719, which is right 9 and 21 EMA on daily chart as well. Now, if we break that, we could go for 722, 723. But that is also a big zone, right? And if we reject it, then we will need to see this 711, 712 hold for any kind of bullish continuation. If that doesn't hold, we are going to go down again because we are going to break this 50 SMA on daily chart. All right. So yeah, let's talk about a couple of tickers. Let's talk about Dow Jones. Sorry, Dow Jones as well, and then SMH. So Dow Jones made new all-time high, and then boom, pushed back down, retested heavily in the last, basically last trading day. So this pullback is pretty okay. We had a massive run on Dow Jones, and we pulled back. We clearly didn't hold 527, 526, 524 zone, but at least we're holding the moving averages at this point. And as long as it holds this 520, 519 area, I think this could have potential for possible continuation. And for that, we need to break this 525 first. And this whole 525, 526 zone needs to be broken for possible continuation. SMH gapped up clearly with the whole semiconductor basically names, and we held the 50 SMA in the daily chart. We slightly pushed lower, but then bounced above this zone, pushed all the way higher. Now we are right below this resistance of 616, 620 on SMH. This is the same zone that we rejected here, here. So it's a very obvious area. Now this whole zone of 615 till 6 almost 20 would say would be an important, almost around these areas, would be an important level to break. If we break that, we are gonna go for possible continuation and rally on semiconductor ETF SMH. But since we had this massive gap up and we're just below this resistance, the possibility of rejecting is also there. So if a rejection happens, we could go for a gap fill all the way down till 593. Okay. Apple had a massive rally all the way up to this all-time high, and now we're consolidating right below this zone. A pretty good consolidation, pretty good hold here on Apple. Didn't reject it really that hard and held 307 area really well. So as long as we're consolidating here, I think Apple looks solid for a possible continuation. But I would like to watch this 315, 317 area on watch for a break for possible continuation, and to the downside possibly below this 307 for a retest of this zone. But the key zone that I want to see it hold would be 300, 302 area, this zone. Right? I want to see it hold this zone. If it even pull back a little bit lower, I really want to see it holding this 303 area and don't push any lower for a possible bullish scenario. If it breaks below this area and go all the way lower below this 294, 295, then this would end up a tough, choppy sideways action on the daily chart. But if we hold here, there would be a chance for possible breakout and all-time high continuation on Apple. Tesla is just shopping around at this point. Yeah, I would like to see Tesla out of this 390, below 390 zone. At this point, I guess that would be the only scenario that I would be interested in trading on Tesla. Right, below this 390 point would be ideal to go short on Tesla down to 385, 380. To the upside, well, it is possible we can go for 401 breakout, pushing all the way higher. But I mean, Tesla has been just moving up down recently, and kind of weird price action, stuck in a range, but moves really volatile. The volatility is really high. So above this 402, 403 on watch for a possible move higher again and retest of 412.13. But if it keep rejecting this zone, which it is doing right now, I would like to see it reject this zone and push lower below this 390 area, go for a retest of 384, 380 area. VDA finally broke out of this choppy zone finally yesterday, and now it's holding right above this area. So NVIDIA definitely on watch for a possible continuation. The whole semiconductor is really strong for today, and we are holding above the moving averages in the daily chart as well. So as long as we're holding this 204 zone, I think we have chance for continuation on NVIDIA above this 206, 207 area that we have right above it, which is the key resistance area. We break that, we can go all the way up till this 210 area, 210 zone on NVIDIA. Google, I'm not interested in it. AMD also gapped up, went above the moving averages. On the daily chart, as you see, bounced above this zone, and we are holding right there. So above this 530 for around this area, right? 532, 533 zone. If it holds this zone, which is our key demand zone, we could potentially go for a break of 540, but then there is a big resistance zone of 547 all the way up till this 550, 560 area on AMD that it struggled a lot in the last couple of weeks. So just keep that in mind when trading AMD if you want to go for a possible long scenario on AMD. Okay, but the key demand zone would be this 533 and then 522. These two should hold. Intel looks pretty solid as well. It just bounced above this 104, 105, but it is still holding below the 50 SMA and also the key resistance of 117, 119. Again, the possibility of seeing resistance here and getting rejected is really high for Intel. We need to break out of this 120, 119 area for a possible continuation on Intel. In case of rejection, we might reject and fill the gap down till 110.11. Meta had a catalyst, but the price is actually, well, obviously the price is rejecting this area, and the catalyst ended up being pretty negative, probably the expense for Meta, considered as the expense for Meta, and now we're pushing lower. So below this 577-ish area, I think Meta could be interesting name on watch for a possible gap fill that we have right here, all the way down till 568, if that happens. Okay, I guess that MU is also right below the 50 SMA. So if it rejects this area, we could go for a reversal. If it breaks, we're gonna run. MU also is at a very critical point right now. Okay. All right, awesome. I'll be going ahead and trade live with the team as always. So if you want to join us, make sure you check out the link in the description and trade live with us. I'll see you in the next one.